Welcome to my channel. The Villisca Axe Murders Mystery. In a quiet street in Villisca, Iowa, stood an old white-framed house. The old white house looked like many of the others in that area, but this one lies abandoned. This house wasn't always abandoned, however. It once housed the Moore family. It was on the evening of June 10, 1912, that the Moore family were peacefully sleeping, just like any other ordinary evening. Upstairs slept Josiah and Sarah Moore, with their 4 children sleeping in a room down the hall and in a guest room on the first floor. At the time, the Stillinger sisters were also sleeping after staying over that night. Just after midnight, it is believed that a stranger entered the house through an unlocked door. The stranger is believed to have grabbed an oil lamp from a nearby table which he held in one hand, and in the other hand he held an axe. The axe is thought to have belonged to the Moore family and was later found in the guest room where the Stillinger sisters had been sleeping. The stranger made his way up the stairs, past the children's room, on his way to their parents' bedroom. Both Josiah and Sarah were peacefully sleeping, unaware that a stranger loomed over them. He is then thought to have made his way to the children's bedroom, before going down to the room where the Stillinger sisters were sleeping. It has been suggested that the stranger knew his way around the house, and may have been known to the family. Eventually the stranger left the house, locking the door behind him. It wasn't until the following morning, when neighbors in the area noticed that the house was unusually quiet. This wasn't like the Moore family, and the neighbors decided to notify Josiah's brother about their concerns. Josiah's brother quickly arrived at the property and let himself in, where he was met with a terrifying discovery. Everyone in the house had been bludgeoned to death. Both Sarah and Josiah, along with their children, were beyond recognition. Their faces reduced to nothing. The police quickly arrived on scene. Police stated that after the family had been murdered, the killer had covered the parents' heads with sheets, and the children's faces with cloths. All the mirrors in the house had been covered, along with all the windows. Uncooked bacon had also been taken from the fridge and placed in the living room, along with a keychain. Had this been some kind of ritual? A bowl of water which contained blood was also discovered at the crime scene. Police strongly believed that the killer had used this to wash his hands after he killed the family. Investigators believed that all of the victims except for Lena Stillinger had been sleeping at the time they were murdered. People in the neighborhood quickly gathered outside the house, all wanting to see what had happened. It wasn't long after the police and coroners had left the house, that those people outside decided to enter the blood-covered crime scene. Police didn't have many leads in the murder, and due to all the people contaminating the crime scene, not much evidence could be gathered. Some suspects were considered. The first was Frank Jones, a businessman who had been in competition with Josiah Moore. Josiah had worked with Frank for many years before venturing out on his own. There was also a rumor flying around that Josiah was having an affair with Frank's daughter-in-law, but this could not be proven. However, it was common knowledge that the Moores and the Joneses hated each other, but was this a cause for murder? Another suspect questioned was Lynn George Jacqueline Kelly, an English immigrant, who is reported to have mental problems. It is believed that he was in the area the night of the murders. It was found that he was left-handed and police believed from the blood splatter that he could have been the murderer. He would eventually sign a confession detailing the crime, but later on he recanted this confession. Over time, many possible suspects emerged, including George Kelly, who would be tried twice for the murders. The first trial ended in a hung jury, while the second trial ended in an acquittal. Police were left baffled for years as to who committed this crime. Had it been someone the family knew, or a stranger just passing by? The house was eventually boarded up. To this day, no one has ever been charged for the murders, and it still remains a mystery to who committed this gruesome crime. Today, you can visit the Villisca Axe Murder House and take one of its tours. You can even take one of the overnight tours if you dare to bring your sleeping bag and stay in one of the famous murder rooms. We forever remember those who were killed that night. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.